Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Hey guys, hope you're going well. So today we are continuing on with our behind the scenes look at the Roll Credits channel and everything that goes into putting this channel together and producing content. Today I am excited because we are going to be looking at how I film and edit my videos. I'm not really sure how exactly I'm going to structure this yet, but I'm basically going to talk you through the process from seeing a movie to writing film notes to filming my thoughts like I am right now and editing and uploading to YouTube. It's kind of like, where does it end in giving you information? But I'll try and make it fun and keep it simple and to the point, just to give you a general broad overview of how it all goes down. And of course, the reason why we're doing this behind the scenes series is because the channel has just turned 4 years old. It's very exciting. It's very super exciting that the channel has been up for 4 years, and it makes me really think about how and why I got started on this whole YouTube journey in the very first place. So do stick around, because next week I will be sitting down and doing a story time and essentially telling you the whole backstory about how and why I started the Roll Credits channel. I'm going to keep it light and fun, but I am going to go over all the main sections. I know a lot of you have your own YouTube channels, or maybe you're thinking about starting your own channel or just at the very beginnings of starting your channel. So don't worry, it's going to be as detailed and educational as I can make it. So to do that, we're going to break everything down into 3 separate components. Number 1 is the research. This is all the pre-production or planning that goes into what the content is going to be. If I'm seeing a movie, going to actually go and see the movie, taking the notes, that kind of thing. Then of course comes the production stage. This is the equipment that I use to actually produce the videos, and sitting down right here in this chair and talking to the camera itself. And then to finish everything up, I have to take all that footage and put it on my computer and edit it and cut it all up and put the trailer vision on top of it and upload it to YouTube. So they are the 3 main sections. Let us dive right in, guys. I'm going to show you everything that goes into filming and editing a video here on my channel, and the example we're going to use is this very video. So I'm actually going to rewind and show you everything from the start. Okay guys, we're gonna rewind this bad boy up. Here we go. Let's go back to the very beginning. Now, obviously this particular video that you are watching is not a movie review video like I would say 80% of the content on my channel are. So imagine that we are reviewing a movie for the sake of this example. And this is how things would start, like I said, with the research stage. Planning my calendar is the biggest start to this. What movies I'm going to be seeing for the month, what's coming out, what do I have time to go and watch, and then the fun part, actually going to the cinema and watching the movies. Come on, that's like the best part of what I do. So actually going to the cinema to watch the screening, if it's a media screening or a regular screening, whatever. I just actually love going to watch the movies. And then more often than not, I could also be at home watching a press screener at home or Netflix, whatever, with the fat bunny next to me eating dinner. This is really the fun part, trust me. But once this part is all over, then it comes to processing my thoughts on what I have just seen, and that involves making notes. This is my notebook. Yes, I'm covering that because my passwords are actually written there in the front. But I make all my film notes. I will process everything that I've seen and make dot points on my thoughts on the different elements within the movie. Once I've done that, then I might go on and read some other people's reviews or have a look at Twitter just to get a little bit of inspiration in case I've missed any little bits and pieces or any additional points or interviews or anything like that. And then we go into the actual production stage. I'm going to start by talking about some of my equipment. This guy here, this is my baby. This is the Canon 5D Mark II. I have had him for like 5 years, and every single YouTube video I have ever done, basically since the beginning, has been on this camera. If you're a beginner though, I would not recommend it. I got this camera and used it as a videographer back in the day, but now you can get a lot better for a lot cheaper. It's also got a lot of setbacks, including not having a flip out screen so you can't see yourself. So I wouldn't recommend it for new beginners, but for my purposes, I've had him for so long, it's basically an extension of my arm. He serves me pretty well. Next up, it is the Rode VideoMic Pro. This one hot shoes directly onto the top of the camera. I don't use it for my videos any longer, but I used to for several years. Now I just use it when I am out and about and not in my home studio. I now record my audio separately, but for all purposes, this guy is really great. Next up, it is memory cards. You cannot have enough memory storage. Trust me, the amount of video footage that I go through, having memory cards is essential because I can be taking like half an hour worth of footage for a 5-minute video. And where do I store all of that? Hard drives. I have so many hard drives and these are all cataloged very precisely. I am very organized and diligent about my data archive system because I've lost precious footage in the past and I will not have that happen again. So I have a lot of hard drives. I keep them all very nicely labeled. This is my Yeti blue USB microphone. This is the one I'm speaking into right now, and I record my audio separately as of late. So it's a separate recording device. I'm really liking it. I still like my Rode VideoMic Pro, the one I showed you earlier, but this guy is working well for me too. So as you can see, this is my actual studio. Come in, I will not start my recording session without having a cup of tea in hand, which is what I'm doing there. And then going around and turning on the lights. Obviously, I've got some twinkle lights on my bookshelf there. And the other pieces of equipment that I did not get to show you because they're too big and bulky, I have 1, 2, 3 softbox lights. And these lights just light up the whole entire room. They also make the room very hot all the time. So sometimes I feel like I'm sweating profusely during my recording sessions. The last piece of tech gear I have to quickly mention is that heavy duty Miller tripod I've got holding up my camera. You do not need anything as excessive as this tripod that is like fit to hold up a 5 kilo broadcast camera. I just happen to be borrowing it from work. So yeah, ignore that. Anyway, what I do next is bring up a window, like a screen record window. I've got my camera plugged directly into my computer so I can do a live mirroring and see exactly what the camera sees and make sure I am in focus. I've got my USB microphone right there on the desk in front of me as well. And then I am ready to compose myself and get started. That's me getting started. And then that is basically it. And then here you go, you can see me from the other side. That is the intro that you just saw in this video a few minutes earlier. We are going to finish everything up with editing, or the other undying question, how long is a piece of string? Because honestly, with editing, you could just keep going and going and going. There's really no end to it. But for the purposes of today, I'm going to show you a really quick overview of how I do my editing. I'm going to assume that you know the basics of editing and just really briefly run through it. But first, of course, you want to import your footage into your preferred editing software. I'm currently using Premiere Pro, which I love. I used to be into Final Cut for 10 years, but now I've just moved over to Premiere recently and not looking back. So you bring over your footage, import that in, and next you have to sync your sound. Well, I do anyway, because I now record my sound separately. So that's what I'm doing here. I have to sync all my video clips up to my audio clips so they all become one singular clip. So I'll do that quickly, and then I will bring the whole entire clip straight down into my timeline where I edit using video waveforms as a cheat guide. If you look at the waveforms here closely, you can actually see where I am speaking and see it represented visually on the timeline. So here I can see that I'm speaking this first sentence, and then there is a gap at the end of the first sentence where I stop talking, where I take a break, so I can put my blade tool right in there. I can chop that end off because there is a gap with no talking right there. So I know I don't want any of that. I'm going to cut that out. I can see next that I speak for a little bit, then I stop. I know that's because I made a mistake right there. And then the same thing again, I start again and stop. So there we go. I know that they are both mistakes. I can snip that out right there, and then I can cut that out, just lift that out, and now join sentence 1 and sentence 2 seamlessly, and you would never know that I mess up a couple of times and cut out 30 seconds in between. The power of editing. Honestly, it's actually my secret weapon. I think in the beginning, because I had a very strong editing background, it really saved me and made my videos always look a lot more professional, and not only that, made it look like I knew what I was talking about a lot more than I sometimes did, just because I was able to edit out all the junk thoughts in between and just put the coherent stuff in. Jumping forward in time now, you can see that I have cut up all my sentences into nice slabs. I've got my intro on the left there, and over there on the right, I'm highlighting my outro for the video, but I've got a blank space sitting in the middle, and in there is where I'm going to put my B-roll. I'm going to put all the overlay and do my explanation and my title headers, which was the research, production, editing. So I'm going to go ahead now and whip up those graphics real quick in Photoshop. You can see here I'm doing research, and then follow that with production and editing slides. I'll put those slides in the timeline and continue to build the edit around those title cards. So I'll go find the rest of the footage that I need to put all that together. And now we're jumping forward 5 or 6 hours. This is what my timeline currently looks like, just showing you what it would look like in the end. You can see I've highlighted my intro and my outro in a bright pink color just to differentiate that. And so now you can clearly see all my B-roll, which is that blue color sitting in the middle there. And that is how I build my edits. Got my overlay, got my graphics, my roll credits bug in the bottom right hand corner. Everything's looking good to go, and now I'm ready to export it to YouTube. So that's what I'll do. And one of the last steps in the process is to create a nice thumbnail. So here I'm opening Photoshop. I'm using the template from last week's behind the scenes video, so I already know I need 3 images. I had previously gone and selected which images out of the video that I wanted to use. So I've got those. I'm putting them into the template and just readjusting them, eyeballing it to make it look nice and presentable in some way. Then I'm going to go put some text in, and then I am ready to finally open youtube.com, upload, and hit publish. Okay, guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed getting to really know the inner workings of what goes into producing a piece of content here on Roll Credits. It's been quite a process. I didn't always put in the level of effort maybe that I do today, and to be honest, things are a lot more streamlined than they were in the beginning. I think in the beginning it took me a lot longer to produce just one particular video, but now I am like a machine. I get through things really fast. Please do bear in mind, I really have to stress this, if you are just starting out on YouTube or you're thinking about starting out on YouTube, do not be intimidated by any of the gear or the software programs that I use. I have been doing this for quite a long time. Before I was on YouTube, I also was a videographer, and I also went to film school. So I do have quite a background in this area. So please do not be put off. It is totally fine to just get started with an iPhone and nothing else. Trust me, that is really all you honestly do need. I know I just said iPhone. I should have said smartphone. You just need a place to put your face and a YouTube account to upload your opinions. That's really all you need to truly get started. All of the rest of the stuff, that all comes later, that all grows, that's a whole separate thing. But just get started. Just get started. That's the main thing. That's the biggest hurdle, just starting and uploading your very first piece of content for the very first time. That's the biggest hurdle. Guys, that is it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you got a little bit more insight into everything that goes on here behind the scenes. If you haven't seen the behind the scenes, like my studio tour where I take you around this entire space, please go and watch that video. I will leave a link to that. That was the first video in this behind the scenes series, and do stay tuned for next week's video, which is going to be my story, the how and the why of starting this channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and keep up to date with all things movies and TV. Do as well click that little bell icon so you can stay notified every time that I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Whew. And we're done. That's it. What time is it? Ooh, dinner time.